Greetings and welcome back to Factorio. I'm KatherineOfSky, and in this episode we're going to be conquering blue science. I previously recorded this episode, but I wasn't really that happy with the way it came out, and I felt like it could use a lot more explanation. So in this episode, I'm hoping to show you guys how to calculate ratios, essentially, so you can create your own calculations for any of the sciences, any of the processes that we're going to go through. We're not going to go through things like modules or beacons in this particular episode because I don't have them. And it's a little bit more complicated, but I might do a tutorial on that. I'm actually really glad that I did, because I found a slight flaw in my blueprint for blue science, and nobody has caught this yet, which I know a lot of you guys are quite active in looking at stuff, and I do appreciate you guys catching my mistakes. But yeah, we did need to change it, so let me get these guys out of the way with the nanobots for now. But yeah, I figured out that I did not actually have enough capacity for the machines that we had via the belts. So I had to change the design slightly, and I have re-uploaded that to the Google Blueprint drive. Right, so let's get started. I do have a spreadsheet with all of the calculations, which is right here. Aha! And I will show you that as we go through it and calculate things. So I'm going to be building this by hand and not using the nanobots. So let's cancel those for now. And we're going to place this down because it is easier to follow what I've done. But we are going to be building it by hand. So first of all, what we have been doing is making 2 science per second. Now I say per second, but really it is per cycle, because right now we're using slower machines. These go at a crafting speed of 0.75. Later on we will have yellow machines, which are going to go at a crafting speed of 1.25. So there's nothing that really has a crafting speed of 1 except for our character and furnaces, but we're not going to be standing here crafting blue science. So when I say per second, just please take that in the means of per cycle, per whatever, and we'll get those other things later. The only time we're actually going to look at the actual per second numbers is when we calculate the items needed on the belts. So that's going to be very important. We have everything else set up for 2 per second, so blue also needs to be at 2 per second. Now I'm going to show you my spreadsheet, and I hope this works. There we go. So what we have here is a short spreadsheet. I've made the window quite small so that it will fit, and you can also see the Factorio screen behind it. So we are doing blue science, which is up here. And here is a box where you can change how many you want per second. So if we do 1 per second, you'll notice the calculations change here, telling us that we need less machines. So if we want to do 2 blue science per second, we put that there in this box. And I can, I think I'll upload this, like a test spreadsheet just to Google Drive if you guys want to use it and try it out. Right, so here is what we have, data from the game. How many is made in a cycle? 1. That may be obvious, but if you look at things like, I think military, is military? Yeah, it's 2. 2 per cycle are made. So that is important to have there. The crafting time is also important. This also comes from the game. They take 12 seconds to craft. If we look here, here it is, right there, 12 seconds to craft, right? So the machines required is taking this data in this calculation, or taking the data from here, calculating it, and giving us an answer. Now I have written out what's happening in these lines below. So in this thing, the machines required is the number that we need per second times the crafting time divided by the number made per cycle. So if there were 2 made per cycle, we would only need 12 machines. But since there's only 1, we're going to need 24 machines. So let's go ahead and put down our 24 machines here. We're using, remember, Ghost Copier, which automatically implants the recipes or copies the recipes to the machines. If you're not using that mod, you'll notice they'll all be blank. Right, so let's get our inserters placed as well. Oh, and first, before we go any further, let's check how many we have here. We have 24 machines. Okay, so that's exactly what we want. And we'll get our inserters placed for this. Oh dear, look what I've done. Oh my goodness. The sadness is real. Okay. There we are. Okay. Now we can also get, let's get our, I guess we can get these guys first. Need some long-handed because we're going to need 2 belts of materials for these guys. I probably should explain also what's going on here. I'm not going to put the lights down by hand. I'll let the robots do that once I get them organized. Right. So let's get our, oh, we can get the power poles. That's a good one to go down with. And then I'll talk about the other things as we go up. Okay, there we are. These guys kind of share with the other side there a little bit. Or maybe not, I don't know. Maybe they don't. Okay, these must share. Okay, there we are. Okay, so we got all the power poles. We're ready and willing to grab materials. These guys need 2 other products. They're going to, well, they need 3 products, I should say. Now, advanced circuits are made elsewhere. We just made those a few episodes ago, and they are on the bus. So they're coming from this location over here. You can see the belt is already down here, ready to come in to science when we need it. So we should go ahead and connect that up right now. And I am going to use the proper colored belts for this, just because I feel like it makes a little bit better point than, let's see, than using just all reds. Because we could use that, and I kind of did that in my previous run-through of this episode, but because of the differences we're going to see later, I think it's important just to use the regular colored belts. You can use higher level belts if you want to, but it's important not to use lower level belts. Okay, do I not have a splitter? Apparently not. I don't have a yellow splitter, so that's okay. We will get a yellow splitter right there. And we'll get our belt there. We actually only need a half a belt of red circuits, so I'm not going to belt store these red circuits. They are very precious to us right now, since we do not have advanced oil processing yet, so we just want to have a half a line coming in here. All right, now that takes care of that particular thing. Let's get these guys just lined up here. Go and paste these belts down nicely. Hooray! Okay, and so the inner arms are going to grab those red circuits. Now these guys we really do not need any fast inserters for because, again, these take 12 seconds to craft and they need a total of 3 ingredients. So yeah, not needed. Okay, and then the second belt is going to come in from here, which is going to transport both of the other sort of intermediate / finished goods out this way. Now the first thing I've calculated on the spreadsheet over here, and I guess I should endeavor to stay in the middle of the screen, or either that or turn the thing off. I've never done this, pardon me for my noobness in putting spreadsheets on the screen. We have a very similar setup for things for engines. So engines are needed in Blue Science. They head off their own new category, and engines need gears and pipes both to be creating them. So engines, we figure out how many are needed per craft, and that's 1. Let's go and check in the game again just to show you. In Blue Science, you need 1 of each item. You don't need more than 1, so that's why need per craft is 1 on engines and 1 on mining drills. Now the crafting time on engines is 10 seconds. Now the machines required uses this calculation right down here. You take the number per second, which is A1, this one here, times the number needed per craft, again, it's this number here, it's 1, times the crafting time, which is 10 seconds. And so you find out that you need 20 of these machines in order to provide 2 per second, okay? I hope that makes sense. So let's go ahead and put down these 20 machines here. Then we'll make sure and count them up again at the end, and I hope I don't find any mistakes to my embarrassment. There's 20. Okay, great. Now, to feed these guys, we're going to need a couple more assemblers, and those are going to be gears and pipes if we look over at the spreadsheets again. Now, for engines, we're going to need, let's see. Now, and I find this very amusing, by the way. We need 1 gear wheel and 2 pipes, and steel as well. I find it entertaining because I'm wondering what this poor gear wheel comes up against if it's not another gear. So, but anyway, these ratios are put into the spreadsheet over here, 1 gear wheel and 2 pipes. Now these guys, their machines required calculation is down here. So for engine gears, I didn't do pipes because it's basically the same thing. If you look in the second thing, it's just going a row down with the same information. So for gears, we're going to need machines required equals the crafting time of the said gears times the number needed per craft, which is here, B11. And you divide that by the crafting time of the engines, which is C10. And you multiply that again by the machines required. That sounds very, very complicated. However, what this equation is doing is saying, aha, we can craft 1 gear every half a second. Our engines are taking 10 seconds to craft. And so how many gears can we make in that time? The answer is, if they take a half a second, we can make 20 gears. And guess what? That's exactly the amount of gears we need to feed 20 machines. So that's basically what the equation is saying here. So we just need 1 gear machine for the whole setup. Similarly, the pipe equation is exactly the same. It's just moved the data down just a little bit, looking at the pipe numbers instead of the gear numbers. So this one tells us that we need 2 pipes machines. Oh dear, don't do that, KOS, don't do that. I was trying to click on my Factorio screen and it did not work. All right, I'm gonna just click there and then in here. So now we have found out, aha, we have our 2 pipes machines and 1 gear machine. The reason I put them in this layout is so that if we have a shortage of iron for some reason, and hopefully we never will, we never shall, but you never can tell, at least 1 gear machine will get iron, and then the other one can do the extra pipes. So at least something will be running, hopefully. And it's just a tiny little mitigating process. I mean, you could wait till all the pipes backed up and then the rest of the iron would go into the gears. But yeah, it's okay. So what's going on here is we have the iron being fed from this belt, and then the produce going out on this line, on opposite sides of this line. And why is that there? That's very confusing to me. That must be a stray little thing. I'll clean that up before I release this blueprint to the wild here. So if you notice, the pipes are going to go on the inner side of the belt, and then this one will drop them here, and it will be side loaded also onto the inner side of the belt. In fact, I'd like to demonstrate this real quick. Oopsies. I should switch my bars. There we go. That's going to be much more comfortable to work with. And, I think we're going to pick... Now these guys, they're going to need nearly 2 full belts of red belts of stuff. How many do they need? Let's see. If we look here, I've also added a secondary section over here for how much iron is needed per second for the machines. So if we have, now these guys, I guess they could share off of one of these red belts, but if we go up to 1.25 machine speed here, they're going to need 25. That is not pleasing to me. So I'm thinking, see, they really need, that's the mining drills. We haven't got to the mining drills yet, but I'm kind of worried about this. I think these guys will go here, and we'll just take from the third one. We'll take a little bit from this third guy here. Oh, dear me, that's really not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay, this is fine. We're just going to take this from here, and so that you can see what is going on here. Okay, I guess that's okay for now. We'll fix the power lines later. Oh, well, we don't even need this here, actually. We can grab these guys just to have the whole array by itself. Okay, so there we go. You can see how they're getting on here, and then the pipes are getting side-loaded onto that side. Right. Alrighty, next thing. Okay, let's get our inserters along. Oh dear. I'm trying to do this fast and it's not working the way I want it to. Oopsies. Okay. I think that was the end of one array when I put this thing together, and then I had to basically copy it again on top of it, or to add to it. Oh, and I ran out of inserters? Really? No. Okay, we'll let those make. And while they are getting made, we can put in these inserters as well. That one goes there, and we just need the yellow inserters. I would run back to the mall normally, but since I'm in the middle of this, I really don't want to do that at the moment. Okay. Okay, great. So those are in place now. Get our power poles set up. All right, there we go. Just getting these all sorted out. And you can see why nanobots are very helpful with this, because there isn't really that much need to just place all of these things very tediously by hand, especially when you have decently sized arrays like this. Oh my god, I ran out of belt. Seriously. Okay, I'll be back. I thought 300 yellow belts would be enough, but apparently it is not. So here we go. There we are. We have all of our engines are going to get made very, very shortly. Wait, are these needing steel? Ah, I did not hook up the steel, so let's go and hook that up as well. This is also going to be another minimal kind of amount that we're going to need here for this. Whoops, one. There we are. Okay, there we are. And we'll grab some steel off the line here. Oh boy, that's not what I wanted. Oh, that's why I'm reaching for a splitter, and that's why it does it to me. I took off my yellow belts, I thought permanently, but yeah, it's not that permanent apparently. I think we probably only need a half a belt of steel. I don't think we really need that much. So let's get that flowing along, and soon enough our engines shall be made. All right, let's connect this guy up here and get these going. All right. And somebody asked me recently, what are the combinators for in the mall and in other places? The combinators tell you what you need in each line. You don't even have to place them. They have no function other than being a signpost. So this is just telling us we need steel on this line. This one is telling us we need iron plate on this line. All right, so these are going quite swimmingly here. And now we have our first engine makers in Blue Science set up and ready to go. Now, the mistake I found with my blueprint was in this area here where we're going to make the mining drills. Let's see. Aha, there's my spreadsheet again. Right, so the mining drills, what the mistake I made was not in the number of the machines required, which is 4. And then gears, we need 5 gear machines for that, but in the iron amounts for that. And I thought that one red belt of iron, I was just kind of eyeballing it. I thought it would be enough, but it is not. Because if you add these two numbers together, you get 30 iron per second. And this is using the machine speed here of 0.75 to calculate how much iron. And if you bump that up to 1.25, as will be the case with the yellow machines, you need 25 each. That's 50. So that's at least 2 red belts. So I decided to go for that higher number and supply 2 red belts full of iron for this. And I'm kind of glad I did this calculation because I didn't really realize it. I also have more inserters per assembly, as I found that in my test world, my mining drills were not getting the iron plates fast enough. Also notice that the gear assemblers are feeding directly into the mining drill assemblers to take advantage of that stack bonus and quickly transfer the materials they need. All right, so let's go ahead and build this. I think we can just drag up. Oh, we can't drag upward. Whoopsies. No. All right. Blueprint time. I mean, I could do it without the blueprint. I made the mistake of assuming that it wouldn't do it on top of power poles, but it does. So another thing I like about direct insert is that you can use a clean line of power poles that will surround fully 2 machines, which is very, very nice. I suppose I don't technically need all of these power poles, but it'll make the dragging easier. There we go. Aha! This now works. This is good. And I have no more machines. How many do I need? 2? I think I can craft 2. Oh, I can craft exactly 2. Life is now better. Right, so here we are definitely going to need and use fast inserters. So these guys are going to go this way. Here we go. We just go up this way and do that. Later on, you can also use stack inserters, but at the moment, we don't have stack inserters because they require red circuits. I think they require red circuits. Do they? Yeah. Yeah, we do not have the supply for this yet. All right, so these are going to grab green circuits from this line here. They need just 1 green circuit to function well. So let's put these red thingies in here, the long-handed inserters. And on the other side, on the left side, they're going to drop it on the opposite side of the engines. And that belt goes straight on, as you see, toward Blue Science making machines. Right, so let's get our these guys sorted out. Okay, and this one goes that way, this one that way. I think those are all sorted out, right? They're all pointing toward the miners. By not having these on a belt, you also save a little bit of space and time, and it tends to be a lot better because trying to bus all of these gears is prohibitive at best because they require lots of gears. 5 gears each. You can do it any way you want, though. Of course, that's the magic of Factorio, is that there are many, many designs that work. So it's kind of fun to see what everyone comes up with. This one is the one I happen to have come up with, and there it is. So I'm going to turn on Nanobots so they can place the lights here because it is getting a bit dark. Do I have any in the... Oh, it looks like I missed lights over there, but that's okay. We're okay. The mall is lighting things up, so we'll be fine. Right, so we have determined that we basically need 2 full belts of iron here. So I think it is time to get that sorted out. And we're going to use up our... Whoa, okay. Aha, that's nice. I like it. I like it when we can have convenience there. Right, this is going to be this one. This one's going to be that one. And we are out of iron. I think we're going to need more iron for the next part of the base. We're going to have just a small sliver, which is going to be this line there. But that's it. We need to get more iron into the base to make sure that we have enough. And when I talk about having enough, yes, we have techs that stop and start, and different ones require different build up of techs. Like these require, red and green and gray. They do not require blue, but all of the higher level techs require blue. And the highest, of course, requires all of them. Red, green, blue, gray, purple, and gold. And further than that, you will need space science, which is white, which comes from launching rockets. Okay, so the one ingredient missing here is green circuits, which I think we should attach. Go. Here we are. So even though we are not using all of the capacity of these belts now, later we definitely will be. Okay, how are we on stuff here? Oh, we just rejigged this whole thing. How are we at the end here? Looks like we took from the first line, so let's take from the second line. Right here, and we're going to use our fast splitters. Now, here's something that you may not know. When you're taking off the line, even if you have a slow belt here, you always want to put the same color as your bus lanes when you split off. Because if you put a whatchamacallit, a lower level splitter here, for example, you will have this problem like this, where the belt can't keep up and you see this, you know, delay in stuff. So you always want to keep this at the bus level of tech level, whatever you call it, belt level that you're using. Right. Okay, so now we have it happening. We've got mining drills on the line. Woohoo. This is fantastic. And soon, no longer a TM, we're going to have soon. We're having stuff happening. We're going to get our blue science. Advanced oil processing will become a reality. And honestly, this is one of my favorite techs to make because it is interesting. I love oil. I love setting it up. I think it's a lot of fun. And this is like a milestone and a fun thing where you can unlock all of those nice higher level techs, and especially because they're very, very useful, like the oil cracking. So we'll watch this get picked up by the first lab. There it goes. And it's sparkling away. Hooray! Oh, look at this. Let's see. Is it going to get some... Oh, there's our first pixel of advanced oil processing tech. And as you can see, the beakers are moving along the line. Our machines are working like crazy, getting stuff going. How are these going? Looks like they are processing really well. They're not running out of materials. I think they're just doing very, very cool. They're doing really, really well. Nice. So, of course, the biggest problem is that the first few machines, they take several. They're quite hogs of materials, and so it's going to take a while before all of them can start processing. But they will soon enough. Yeah, you can see further up, they are... Oh, goodness me. Pardon me. I forgot to switch off my spreadsheet. I hope you've seen enough of the spreadsheet. Oh my goodness. Anyway, blue science is being made fast and furiously, and there it goes along the line. Oh, and then more labs. So labs do exactly the same thing. They all hog several of these beakers, or the flasks, or whatever you want to call them. I know there's some debate about that, but I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, but they are all sparkling away, and our advanced oil processing is moving. It is moving very, very quickly. And that will, of course, allow us to finish up our oil area and get cracking with that. Alrighty. So let's go and attend to that. We'll pick up some materials and get down there. Well, oh, there, and it's done. It's done. Boom, boom, boom. Fantastic. Let's get power armor researched. And let us get our oil area sorted out. This is very exciting. Woohoo. Let's run down there very quickly. And we also are going to have to get our solar arrays up and going because we don't have any accumulators put anywhere. So at night, we're relying solely on steam power, as you can see from the yellow line here. But solar power pretty much during the day, which is nice. It's very nice. Okay, let's change all these guys over. So the difference between these processes is that when you use regular oil processing, you get different fractions of the oil. And as you can see here, we have 30 heavy oil, 30 light, and 40 petroleum. Here we have 10, 45, and 55, which is much more beneficial if you want more petroleum, which generally you do. If, however, you need a ton of lubricant or heavy oil for some reason, you can change it back, and that is highly advisable if you want to do that sort of thing. Okay, so we're changing this so we get a higher fraction of petroleum. The first thing that is full is these heavy oil storage tanks, so we need to get that sorted out. Okay, so let's, I'm going to put down, we have 2 times the recommended ratio of refineries to the other plants. Remember, it's 8:1:7 is the small ratio for that. So we have 16, so we'll need 2 heavy oil crackers instead of 1. Now, cracking is the business whereby you convert one oil type to the other. So in this case, we're going to get heavy oil cracking to light. So we put in heavy oil and we get light oil out, which is fairly handy. However, I want to control this process because I want my blue belts. I'm very concerned about getting blue belts. So we are going to put here a pump to control this process. Let me make one. Oh, here we have one actually. There we go. All right, we're going to put this right here. And this is going to be hooked up to our system here. Let me see if this will stretch. Yes, it will, maybe. But I want to connect this from here to here. Thank you. And you can test. Yes, we can read all of the amounts here. Look, there are petroleum is just tiny, tiny amounts of this. And so also notice that I did not hook up the excess tanks to any of this because I use tanks for measuring and ratios. I do not use them as a buffer. So eventually I want to delete these tanks here. Those are going to be gone very shortly. Let me get 2 more pumps made. Power armor is done. Wow, we can now do everything. It's so exciting. What do we want first? Worker robot cargo size. Lab research speed might be okay. Sort of capacity bonus. Sounds good. Right. And then I want to hook this up here to this pump. And let's get the pump hooked up to the oil. Oh, there it goes, right there. All right, so this has access to the oil. And for demonstration's sake, I should also hook up the water, because that's fairly important. Oh dear, look what's happened here. Hi. Okay, so these are in the way of the water hookup, which is unfortunate, but we will be able to sort this out later. All right, let's just put this for here for now, and we will neaten it up once we get rid of these tanks. So I do not want those tanks there. They're not useful. I'm going to put a big ugly squiggle here, so I remember to change that later. Let me get a power pole here as well, and we're going to hook up the output of the heavy or of the light oil here. So these guys are not currently running. They have no access to heavy oil. We're going to change the condition of this pump to only process once we have X amount of lube. And so each tank holds about 25,000 lube. So we're going to say if lube, well, we'll do the number first because otherwise it'll open the floodgates. If we have more than 23,000 lube, then you can work. There we go. And immediately the pump opens up and there it goes. It's not going to get very far because I think we still have a lot of... Oh, actually we have space for light oil. That's okay. Right, so that is how we're going to set up heavy oil cracking. If you do not use the circuit condition with the pump, what's going to happen is that the heavy oil will flow and it will willy-nilly go into whatever machine it finds. And so you may be short on lube. I never want to be short. I need lots for belts and engines. Electric engines also use lubrication. So very, very important. Now we have the opportunity to use cracking for the light oil. And this is probably one of the most important processes. I feel like this is where people get very confused. In Factorio, a lot of new people get confused because it's like, oh my god, I have all this light oil. What do I do? Do I barrel it? Do I whatever? Now just store it for a little bit, and then we'll deal with it. So the other thing that I want to do now is, because I don't want this stuff to keep flowing into these tanks, we're going to use a pump without conditions, just putting one there and power it to make sure that this fluid flows one way, out, just out, out, out. And then later we'll be able to remove those empty tanks when they get empty. All right, we have stuff. Yeah, this is good. We need substations for our other areas. Good, good, good. Okay, and this is what a light oil cracking thing needs to look like. I want to grab, we need 7 of these guys per each thing. So we'll do 7 each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So then I'll copy the entire arrangement for the other side as well. All right. Okay, I don't know why it's not behaving here. There we go. This is what we want. There we are. And then, of course, in the middle... Oh, and you know what? I forgot pipes. I completely forgot the pipes. No! Alright, so I'm short on these guys. I will handcraft some and get some more iron from here. Just kind of steal it off the line. Oh, and look at plastic is barely going because we have no cracking happening. Yeah, this is what is really needed for this whole process. We just need to hook up the water to get that going. Okay, mining productivity, yes please. All right, let's get water on this side first. There we are. Oopsies. Oh, I have no straight pipe. Haha. Yes, I need straight pipe, something. Pipette. Yes. All right, so this side is starting to work, which is fantastic. We are happy about this. Now, when we get the need for solid fuel, and some people use solid fuel to power trains, I don't really need it because I have buckets of coal everywhere. There's coal everywhere. I don't see the need to make it into solid fuel, to be honest. But some people like to use it, and yes, you do get some acceleration bonus with different fuels. But you may also want to do something similar, limiting the flow for cracking to with pumps. When we get to rockets, we will certainly do this because we are going to need rocket fuel made, which also comes from solid fuel. So, but for right now, we want this to flow freely into the this array. So we're just going to hook it up as normal, and we can add those pump conditions later. All right, here we go. I can actually move that one this way. There we go. Okay. So let's just make sure we have 14 of these. Yes, we do. And we have basically the whole system is going to start running very, very smoothly. We could add, I think I'm going to add a couple more on the end here just to get through this backlog of fluid because we have a ton of it, an absolute ton of it. All right, so let's just add a couple more. There we are. And I'll need more undergrounds, of course, because I ended up short. Come on, let's do this. You can do it, Nanobots. Thank you very much. And oh, and I forgot this. Oh, I need pipe. No, no. Aha, there we go. Right, so that's going to get flowing, and hopefully this is going to start to make more stuff. This is how to automate your whatchamacallit, oil area. This is what you need to do this. You can use other conditions for cracking, like for example, you only want to crack if you have X amount of heavy oil or whatnot. But we will be revisiting this, like I said, once we are in the later stage of the game and we need to make solid fuel. We need to get this sorted out, of course. Let's get our pump outwards from here so we can start emptying these tanks of fluid. But yeah, this is now a fully functional oil design, and I hope it should be getting going soon. Are you guys Is this working? Hello? Yeah? Oh, look what I did. That's not good. This is one off. Shoot. Okay, there we go. That needs to be there instead. And of course, hook it up. Go there. Nice. Okay. So now this is going to work if there's enough petroleum gas. Let's see. I kind of expected this to go a lot faster, but for some reason it isn't. How are the these guys? Ah, okay. So these are still full of heavy oil at the moment. Yeah, we really need to get rid of the light oil. You know what? I'll add a couple more of these guys. Maybe like 4 more or something like that. Okay. Let's add more because we really need to get that going. Of course, the other thing that we can do is add in some more cracking on the heavy oil side. And we can delete these if they're not working because they do take up a significant amount of power. But right now I think we're okay on power. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we're well within the safety margins for power. Let's get rid of these things. Okay, those are good. Yeah, it looks like, so what's happening is we're not getting any produce from these refineries because they're all backed up on light oil. So, shall I? Yeah, I should just add more of these guys for now. But once you get it up and running, the so-called perfect ratio should work. And that perfection thing is basically for designing a system that processes all of the crude into petroleum. That's what the perfect ratio sort of means. Is if you want to get everything into petroleum, this is how many machines you need. But as you can see, if you're kind of in a different part of the game, it doesn't work completely optimally, alas. All right, get these guys going along here. There you go. Thank you, Nanobots. And I do need more of these. There we are. And power pole. There we go. Right. Okay, so this is going to get rid of this heavy oil much more quickly. And you can see these other tanks are going down quite quickly. Very, very fast. Just in the time we've been there, they've already dropped off a lot of their oil. Okay, I think that's probably good for this episode. In the next one, we'll figure out what we're going to do in the next one. There's many, many things to do. We could start working on other science. We could get rid of some of the biter bases, which I could show you the laser turret creep, which I like a lot better than regular ammo turret creep. Oh, and by the way, I want to clear up a couple of things that have been mentioned. It is not possible to blueprint a turret with ammo in it. Okay, let me just show you this. Okay, here's the turret. Here is ammo inside, 62 ammo. And I will blueprint it. Okay, put it down. There's no ammo. It doesn't blueprint with ammo. Okay, what you may have seen people doing with that is they have a mod called autofill, which automatically fills up turrets with ammo and trains with coal, that kind of thing. But personally, I think it's very cheaty, especially for this kind of a playthrough where I would rather not use things to make stuff, you know, super easy, like combat. Why would I have combat if I just want to cheese it? That doesn't make any sense to me, because this series is supposed to be instructional. And a lot of you, of course, were right. I was rushing on the other turret creep that I was doing with the regular ammo, but I kind of blame that on YouTube because you kind of want to move things along. But indeed, if you go slower and put more turrets down, you can take out some of these bases. But I prefer lasers anyway, and since we haven't been attacked in any really meaningful way, but if we look at our turrets here, none of them have run out of ammo, and none of them have been destroyed. So I think we've been doing pretty good, allowing the forest to kind of suck up the pollution and not get us into trouble. So we will probably do some of that next time. And in the meantime, thank you so very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you next time.